Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. In a previous video, we ended up with 4 go-karts from a family fun park. You guys overwhelmingly said that we should work on the older kart first, and John and I have decided to agree with you. Mainly because it's the only one we actually have an engine that matches to, because the one that's in it is a little bit questionable. Yeah, when we were rolling it over here, all of a sudden a box of parts shot out the rear end of it and hit me in the leg. Well, there was a steering wheel on the unit. John jumped on before I could really get filming. I set out a Bilt Hard. It's actually left over from a mini bike project that we did that we're going to try. These are based off of a Ducar 212 block, so they're a pretty solid little engine for the price on Amazon. And the reason why he ripped that off is because it has to come off to get the body off. And John is very gung-ho that we're going to get this thing up and running. That way we can take it for a test drive and then sell it to finance the other ones. We know you guys like this body, but the real reality is I don't fit, and it's not John's favorite. So rather than have it sit here and rot, we're going to sell it. Jethro, what are you doing? Oh, you got a ball and a wrench to fix it with? Okay. Alright, attempt to lift the body off. We don't know if it's got tie downs or not. 1, 2, 3, up. Mother, that's heavy. Okay, you go that way. You go that way. Okay, yep, use the board, go across. Yep. Let's take a look at this thing. Holy proprietary gas tank Batman. Hopefully that's still good. So this is our brake, and the brake actually attaches to a giant pivot arm that goes to both sides. So if I press it down, you can see it goes like that. I find it interesting, it's got some sort of pull point right there also. I don't know what's up with that. And John, go ahead and hit the gas. So there's the gas, which has very little travel up front. Turns this right here, which turns that up there. And John just made the discovery that's probably going to save us the biggest amount of time. What did you find hidden underneath?
The throttle assembly was hanging underneath the body over here.
Yeah, and hey, bring that around. Is that modified? Yeah, so there's parts missing, and it's definitely modified in some form. So that is a really good find, because I was worried we were going to have to figure out the throttle assembly. Oh, I know what it does. I just figured it out. It just clicked. So when this arm, where's the arm? When that arm is in place, that arm sits like this. And so this goes this way for throttle, which means that lever actually pushes on the arm if John hits it. Oh my God, that's brilliant. That means we probably can just slam the Bilt Hard on with the stock lever and go for it.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Alright, let's start disassembling this. Look, we ended up with free pliers for Jethro. That's about a Jethro size. You want to see the awesome overbuilt idea of the century? If that doesn't tell you what the steering knuckles are made out of, I don't know what to tell you as a car or a truck guy. Here's the hint. This is what connects your drive shaft together in your pickup truck or your two-wheel drive car. That's an awesome idea. You never would be able to go and break those. I wonder if the backsides actually just ground right off. Or if they even just left the... They didn't even bother removing the stud that the cap would go on. That is the most awesome idea for steering knuckles I have ever seen. And they just welded a piece of pipe on. And then the pipe has an adjustable on the end of it. That's awesome. Check this out. We just finally found the tag on it. It says Formula K Raceways. We'll have to see if they still exist. And Matawan, I believe MI is Minnesota, says the production date was 8/8/97. Hey, John, when were you born?
2012.
Okay, so it is older than you. Serial number, passenger capacity 400 pounds, passenger capacity 1. Alright, well, I guess this cart can't be on my 600-pound life. Alright, now take it out. Hey, look at that. It came out... Wow. That's a ZH8 piston in there. That's no slouch. But obviously, she's not doing anything. Now, I don't want to break the pull cord. Somebody got in here, they scoured the snot out of it. You can see. Yeah, it's just plain done. Maybe someday we'll try and revive it just for the giggles of it, but not on this video. I just noticed over here where John threw this thing, there's a brand spanking new aftermarket head gasket right there. A really, really thick one. They were making sure not to increase pressure in this thing. I don't know. We might have to revisit this engine at another point and see if we can revive it. Here's your PSA. If your cap is not venting correctly, drill a hole through the side in order to create a vent. Do not grind off the top to create the vent, because that is water in the bottom of this tank, and that is how you kill your engine. I'm gonna bet that probably didn't help. Okay, Internet, I'm really confused. That says it's made in the USA. The cogs look as if they're USA. I found a mark on one of them. And the belt is metric. So it says 8M for 8mm lug. It says 800 for being 80 centimeters long. And it says 36 for being 36 millimeters wide. What piece of mechanical machinery in the United States uses a millimeter timing belt? Anybody got any ideas? Did anybody else stop buying DiGiorno pizzas because quality control during pandemic went to hell? Apparently it hasn't gotten any better. Jethro getting his exercise. That oil is old, but there's no fiber or anything on the drain plug. So I'm going to hope that the box is okay. This cog definitely has seen some mileage. I don't know. We'll see. Why did it all of a sudden start draining more? That was weird. Oh. Oh, maybe it's just playing the chain inside. Can you imagine that? An engine that had the entire valve train all torn apart was filled with water and pissed all over my work table. I should have seen that one coming. Oh well, let's see if we can get this gearbox popped open. Diving into something I have no idea about. Let's pop the side of this off. Okay, go figure it won't come off for video. There we go. Alright. Well, I don't see anything that looks too heat warped or anything. So that's interesting. I did double check. I can order clutch packs for this off of NR Racing, who I've used a lot in the past. We've also got a set of clutch packs for the bigger boxes on the other go-karts coming in from FridayParts.com, hopefully. So we're going to try to work with them on a couple of projects. But yeah, that seems to be rotating just fine. Okay, well, From here, we've got to undo that and lift this entire assembly out, from what I can tell from what I've seen on the write-ups and the PDFs for this thing. We'll go from there. I was planning on doing the YouTuber filming at Tractor Supply thing, except for somebody got overly happy checking out the go-karts and the mini bikes and fell down on his face. But we did get the bolts that we needed. Hi, this is Future Neil with Future John talking about the sponsor of this video. Me and my very empty wallet. The real reality is YouTube's not what it used to be, so if you could hit a like down below and you could comment about something in the video, you would be amazed how much it helps the algorithm and it helps us with being able to do projects like this. Also, YouTube's on this new kick about YouTube memberships and things like that, so I made one to shut up the YouTube gods that's like $2 a month. And it does actually help out. You'd be surprised how fast it adds up to being able to help with monthly expenses, especially in the winter time where, like, John's kind of a pansy and he likes this thing called a heater being turned on. And, you know, it costs propane and everything else. So, if you'd like to help my wallet a little bit and you'd like to help John complain a little less about the temperature in the garage, feel free to like and comment, maybe become a membership at some point. I thought this extended dipstick was pretty cool, until I pulled it out, and in the words of John, oh, that's not good. That might explain what happened to the engine a little bit. I'm sure there's a right, a wrong way, and a don't do this, and all of that to this clutch pack. But I think, come on, there. I think if we clean these up a little, we can see the ridges there. It's still got material. So I think we're going to clean these up. I don't really know what the right idea is. I don't think we can make them any worse than they already are. And then put them back together and hope that these don't disintegrate the first time they get some power to them. I'm not sure that this wasn't misdiagnosed as a blown engine, because if I spin this over and we watch here, it actually jumps up and binds because this is so worn out that the teeth are actually, they look like shark fins. It's so worn out. Now, I have one of these gearboxes that was sent in by a viewer, and I'm wondering if the parts will swap over, because it definitely looks a lot better condition than this one. Yeah, I don't remember who sent this to me, but I really appreciate it. I actually just thought of this as we were sitting there. This is a gearbox sent in by a viewer a while back, but I don't know if it's the right size, but it's got the right chains. That looks almost like a 1-inch, though. I guess we'll have to try it and see if it fits. There's the old one. There's the new, well, newer one. Yeah, I think those teeth are a little worn down. It looks as if this one's the same size. So we're going to see if we can get it swapped in and go from there. I'm sure there's a joke somewhere about bottoming out and going too deep with your shaft. That's the problem we have now, by basically about 1 centimeter. Now, just a side note here for the engine builders. This is a Rado block, or with a Ducar 212 block, you could potentially just swap the crank from one engine to the other, because they both use the same exact size for the connecting rod. But this is faster. I got it back together about an hour and a half later. Let me reenact my last final moments without tearing it all apart. John, you know what? I'm an idiot! It all fits together now. Perfect. On the Jethro update, his forehead's doing much better. Got a bandage across there. Got some Funyuns, got some spaghetti, feeling a lot better. Hey Jethro, tell him like and subscribe so we can afford more bandages for you. Yeah, because you're going to do more stupid stuff as you get older, aren't you? Yeah. Anytime you decide to start swapping parts, you run into a well beep moment. Here's this one. Almost all your clones all use tabs right here that are flat top in order to get away from Honda's proprietary tank setup, which means this has angle cuts. So I've got to come up with something as far as that's concerned. On top of that, we had a freak out moment because the throttle was not hitting where it's supposed to be. In fact, it's actually going right over the top. But what we just realized was that the tank doesn't fit because it hits that. That doesn't hit that because we never lifted the engine back up into adjustment. Fix the gas cap so that way rain doesn't go right directly back into the tank. And in the words of John, we have committed grinder sins in order to be able to mount the gas tank. But it's on there. We didn't have to use a proprietary Honda. And hopefully we can make vroom vroom noises soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, putt-putt noises. I don't know that I'd classify these as vroom vrooms. John's working on the last of the engine plate raising bolt assembly thing. As you can see now, the throttle assembly comes through and hits this. We have noticed it does seem to be, I don't know whether the pivot here needs grease or something, but it doesn't seem to be self-returning all the time. So we do need to figure that out. And on a parenting side, John, did I tell you the right or the left of the engine, or did I say carburetor?
Carburetor?
Why do you think I said carburetor? Because if I say right or left, like toddlers know right or left. But if I say carburetor, for you to do it right, you have to actually know something. Parenting tip of the day, don't use right or left. Use a part so that they have to identify it. Okay, John, end the argument in the last video about whether these are a one-wheel peel or not. Spin that tire. I'd say that confirms it. Myth busted. Engine that's been sitting for 2 years after Oxy Earth mini bike build. Take one. It debated it. I wonder if the idle on these, when they're set up, is set on the high side. Because this actually has to spin all of the clutch assembly and everything also.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, let's just try it where it is. But yeah, I'm going to bet the idle has to be set higher. Alright, hit the brake. That's the gas. Good help is hard to find. Alright, you're on the choke right now. I'm going to take the choke off. We'll see if it dies. Yeah, the carb's clogged from sitting. Alright. Alright, go for it. There we go. So what's happening here is, for some reason, the linkage has changed. So this needs to turn further. Brake. Yeah. Current checklist as it sits. You can't exactly use a kill switch that's under your butt, so that's got to get wired to the rear and double checked. The carb obviously needs to be cleaned out. That's 5 seconds with a 10mm and no big deal. By the way, if you're dealing with these Bilt Hards, if you're dealing with anything Rado, the Duramaxes, all of that, HIPAA Carburetor on Amazon sells a carb that has an idle jet that is tunable. And this has an adjuster right there, and I'm honestly thinking that we should probably work with that adjuster rather than monkey with the ancient tractor linkage hodgepodge welded system that's on here. Yeah, I think the one easy bolt to get to is a better idea than the tractor linkage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else have that one manager that always seems to be asleep in their chair in the office? I have 2 of them. Well, you can probably hear it, but this rainstorm just does not want to let off. It looks like there's a hole in the storm in about an hour from now, so we're going to see if we can get stuff tied up and get it out here and make 1 or 2 passes down the driveway. But there's no real avoiding the mud puddles, so I'm not really sure how much of a test drive we're going to get to do. It's hard to show how much something weighs in video, but that is bowing that entire milk crate to the point it came down onto it, and that's the only reason it didn't crush the milk crate. These things are stupid heavy, like, wow.
And really reinforced.
Well, what do you expect for a bunch of guys that had lawn tractor parts to be able to build go-karts? That's what we basically have figured out, is that these came from a lawn tractor company that decided to build go-karts for some reason. 14,000 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moment of truth. Is it going to pull forward on its own power? You killed it. The hell was that?
I don't know.
Why did it work on the stand, but it's not working now? Off camera, we've had the engine decide to stop running like 4 times for no reason. I wonder if the original kill button is the problem.
Maybe.
Carburetor cleaned out. Will it move under its own power? Take 2. That's what it was. That stupid carb had some ethanol in the bottom of it, and I forgot that we needed to clean it out. Alright. Alright, we'll roll it outside. We'll see what it'll do. Well, here we are. We're going to try and take it for a test drive. We're going to try not to mud truck it through the puddles. Alright, give it some. Does not sound healthy. And people wonder why I don't particularly care for lowered cars. All it's doing is just spinning the rear tire. We're not going to make the circle. We're currently going for just to show it runs and drives. Alright, come around and full throttle it down the driveway, and then I'll turn you around down at the pine tree.
Got it.
Let's see what it'll top out at. Go for it. Well, John, the brakes work, it runs, it drives. I mean, we did cheat by installing a brand new engine. But I think that it's not the right kind of cart for our yard or our driveway, and we should probably put it up for sale before you drive it and crash it again. Because lowrider life. I mean, it's cool. It's interesting. There's more than enough room in the back that you could put a 1-inch live axle kit underneath where the engine sits and be able to have all the grip that you would need. Honestly, if you just started cutting off all the outside and all the rubber pieces and everything so that it didn't bottom out on every corner, then it probably would make it. But as it is, it's not the right unit for our driveway, and so therefore we're going to pass it on to somebody else at a marketplace near you in Maine. Hi, John. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm not sure that this is a fair trade, that I have to be John's reverse and plow the center of my driveway to turn him around. This isn't much of a fair trade. Parent life.